This woman received a note that left her in tears. Her story will melt your heart. It was a bitterly cold January afternoon in New York City when Casey Fisher spotted a homeless man sitting on the sidewalk, singing softly to himself as he tried to gather a few coins from passers-by. As Casey hurried past, something about the man's demeanor tugged at her heartstrings, and she found herself slowing down, unable to ignore the plight of this stranger. Mustering her courage, Casey approached the man and struck up a conversation. She learned that his name was Chris, and he had been living on the streets for over a year, ever since the tragic passing of his mother from cancer. With no other family to turn to, Chris had spiraled into a deep depression, eventually turning to drugs as a means of coping with his overwhelming grief and loneliness. As Chris shared his story, Casey's heart ached for him. She couldn't imagine the pain and hopelessness he must have been feeling, to have lost his only source of unconditional love and support. Wanting to do something to ease his suffering, even in a small way, Casey offered to buy him a hot coffee and a bagel from the nearby Dunkin' Donuts. Chris was hesitant at first, unused to the kindness of strangers, but as Casey's genuine concern became evident, he gratefully accepted her offer. The two sat together in the cozy cafe, sipping their drinks and breaking bread, while Chris opened up about his dreams and aspirations, the ones he had buried under the weight of his circumstances. Time seemed to stand still as Casey listened, her eyes filled with empathy and a growing admiration for this man's resilience in the face of such adversity. As she prepared to leave, Chris suddenly reached out and asked her to wait. Pulling a crumpled receipt from his pocket, he scribbled a note with trembling hands and handed it to Casey. The words on the note made her heart skip a beat. "I wanted to kill myself today. Because of you, I don't do that anymore. Thank you, beautiful human being." Tears welled up in Casey's eyes as she read the profound message, realizing the profound impact her simple act of kindness had had on this stranger. In that moment, she understood that her willingness to see Chris, to hear his story, and to extend a small gesture of compassion had quite literally saved his life. The news of Casey's encounter with Chris quickly spread, inspiring others to follow in her footsteps and be more mindful of the struggles faced by the homeless. People began to donate food, clothing, and even job opportunities to those in need, recognizing the transformative power of human connection and empathy. For Casey, the experience was a profound reminder that even the smallest acts of kindness can have a rippling effect, touching the lives of others in ways we could never imagine. She knew that her encounter with Chris had been more than just a chance meeting. It had been a calling, a reminder that we all have the power to make a difference, one person at a time. As for Chris, the memory of that fateful day in the Dunkin' Donuts would forever be etched in his heart, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the redemptive power of a single act of compassion. He had been given a second chance at life, and he vowed to honor Casey's kindness by striving to rebuild his own, one step at a time.